Friday of the first week of Advent.
A reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah. Thus says the Lord God, "But a very little while, and Lebanon shall be changed into an orchard, and the orchard be regarded as a forest. On that day, the deaf shall hear the words of a book, and out of gloom and darkness the eyes of the blind shall see. The lowly will ever find joy in the Lord, and the poor rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. For the tyrant will be no more, and the arrogant will have gone. All who are alert to do evil will be cut off, those whose mere word condemns a man, who ensnare his defender at the gate, and leave the just man with an empty claim. Therefore thus says the Lord, the God of the house of Jacob, who redeemed Abraham, Now Jacob shall have nothing to be ashamed of, nor shall his face grow pale. When his children see the work of my hands in his midst, they shall keep my name holy. They shall reverence the Holy One of Jacob, and be in awe of the God of Israel. Those who err in spirit shall acquire understanding, and those who find fault shall receive instruction." The word of the Lord.
The responsorial psalm. The response is, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom should I fear? The Lord is my life's refuge. Of whom should I be afraid? The Lord is my light and my salvation. One thing I ask of the Lord, this I seek, to dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, that I may gaze on the loveliness of the Lord and contemplate his temple. The Lord is my light and my salvation. I believe that I shall see the bounty of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord with courage, be stout-hearted, and wait for the Lord. The Lord is my light and my salvation."
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. As Jesus passed by, 2 blind men followed him, crying out, "Son of David, have pity on us." When he entered the house, the blind men approached him, and Jesus said to them, "Do you believe that I can do this?" "Yes, Lord," they said to him. Then he touched their eyes and said, "Let it be done for you according to your faith." And their eyes were opened. Jesus warned them sternly, "See that no one knows about this." But they went out and spread word of him through all that land. The Gospel of the Lord.
The first reading comes from Isaiah 29:17-24. This is another passage from Isaiah that talks about the restoration of Israel. That Lebanon, which is desert-like in certain areas, would become a fertile land, a forest. The deaf would hear, the lowly will be raised up, but tyrants will be brought low. We're talking about an intervention of God in history, which will order our world the way that God had always intended it to be ordered. In that case, the people will hallow the Holy One of Jacob. They'll stand in awe before the God of Israel, because the restoration is not simply a restoration of that which lies around us, but also of our hearts, that we will properly order our lives so that God is our King, so that God is the center of everything. That in fact, simply by raising up words of praise, by wasting time, if you will, on God, we are already proclaiming that God is our all. By doing that, we transform this world. We can't see it immediately, it's not a scientific thing, but by making God the center of our lives, we proclaim a message to the world that God is the center. Whether we say it with words or deeds, people will see and hear and understand. The Gospel is from Matthew 9:27-31. In this passage, 2 blind men approach Jesus and say, "Take pity on us, Son of David." Now in Mark, it's only 1 blind man in Jericho. Here it's 2 blind men. And Jesus heals them because their faith has made it appropriate. This is an expression of faith. Now, in gospel miracles, sometimes faith precedes the miracle, causes the miracle. Sometimes faith is the result of the miracle. So there's no easy formula on this. Miracles are not commercial transactions in which we plug in faith and the right prayer and out pops a miracle. Miracles are interventions of love of God into our lives. If it is more loving to let us see, then we will see. If it is more loving to let us be blind, and we have to learn to trust in our blindness, then we will continue to be blind. But it is important that we voice our need to God, not because God doesn't know it, but He wants us to remember that He is the one who has the authority to intervene. He is the one who is in charge. Simply by raising up our voices to the Lord and calling for His help, we are saying that He is our all. And may God bless us.